Hey YouTube. Good evening. How are you guys? How was your weekend? I'm rounding up on my weekend in preparation for the week. I'm trying to cook some stew. So this week we're supposed to have various foods for dinner: okra soup and stew. It's what I have on my invisible menu. Okay, so we purchased some fresh okra from the African store. I'm yet to cook it. But the stew, I wanted to get it done tonight. So for the stew, I'm making a fridge stash and a freezer stash. So it's one big pot of stew, okay? Oh, that's hot. How you guys doing though? How's everyone doing? I know it's late. A lot of people are asleep by now. I'm supposed to be in bed, but I need to finish up whatever it is that I'm doing today. So I'm not expecting a lot of people to be on here, and that's okay. So I had my meat cooked. I pre-cooked my chicken, and this is goat's meat, guys. This is goat's meat. As you can see, steaming hot. So I pressure cooked the goat meat because goat meat tends to be very, very hard. So if you cook it on the stove, it's going to take a long time to cook. So I pressure cook it about 2 minutes in the Ninja pressure cooker, and then I let it warm for about 20 minutes thereabout before I use it. So in this case, I'm actually frying it. And this is not for dinner today, guys. My kids are already in bed. This is meal prep for the week, okay? This is hot oil, so I have to be super careful. And don't worry, I'm not waking anyone up. They can barely, the noise barely gets around in the house. And then this that I have here, you guys. So you see the broth from my goat's meat? The broth from my goat's meat, along with my chicken broth. So this is the broth from today. This is the broth for my chicken today. Previously, I did not used to use them at all. I used to throw them away every time I'm done cooking meat. I wouldn't even use the broth to season my food at all, because a lot of people, including my mom, used to say that a lot of the enzyme from the animal is in the broth, so I didn't used to use it at all. But guess what? Now, I mean, it doesn't hurt for me. That's what I think. I cook it down, and this is it. So it becomes seasoning, okay? Seasoning for my food. And that is from the broth. I have it in the freezer. I could make this into cubes or whatever, and then use them as Maggi cubes in my food, because I don't use Maggi cubes to cook now. All right, so if I have the broth, I can use it as Maggi cubes, and that's from my chicken broth and my goat's meat broth. It's pretty hot, that's why I'm not carrying it. But yeah, that's what is in here. So that much chicken broth along with the goat meat broth from, I believe, 2 or 3 cookings ago, that is what I cooked down, and that's the stash right here. So for every time I cook, if I want to use anything that tastes like Maggi cube, I'll take like a tablespoonful of this and use it. And so this new broth that I have, I'm gonna cook it down, and it's gonna become this way too. I mean, I didn't used to use it, but yeah, it does make a difference. I usually just season my food with natural seasonings, like the dry seasoning that I have in my pantry from all the different herbs, along with bell pepper, Fresno, and stuff like that. But yeah, it works great. So this is my first batch of meat fried down. That's the chicken. It's actually hen. This is not the regular chicken from the grocery store. This is hen from the African store. Hen tends to be very hard. So if you want to use hen, you can purchase they call it baking hen. Baking hen from the grocery store. The texture is just like this. It's really hard, okay? But so yeah, I cook it down first before I use it. I cook both the goat meat and the ham down to become very soft before I think about using it. But I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend though. Let me put this guy here so it can defrost. Anyways. And I'm gonna pour this in the bowl with the other guy. Another kitchen hack. So I use this super huge pots. That's what I use to meal prep my stews and soups or whatever that I need big quantity for. Okay. So I use this guy, and so for my family size, this would give me about 2 weeks worth. Remember, it's not going to be in the, so we have the freezer stash in there, so we put a small quantity. So let's say if I'm supposed to have 3 things for this week, like okra soup stew, and peanut butter or whatever that is supposed to be for this week, a small stash is going to be in a bowl in the fridge, and then the rest will be in the freezer. But yeah, all of it gets cooked in here in this very big pot. And I'm using this much. I'm using this much onions, bell pepper, and tomatoes. That's my option. So while the goat meat is finishing up, I'll go ahead and process my onions. Making sure it's on. And I forgot to mention that I'm using some bell shallots, some spring onions or shallots or whatever. Oh, and I forgot that I even still had another half. I'm gonna add this one too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the goats to this. So this is the chicken and goat's meat broth combined. So I'm setting it aside and letting it cool down. And once it's cool, if I had a lot of time, what I'll do rather is to wait for the meats to finish frying so I can use the oil from the meat. Oh, I thought I was going to actually um, spark some oil out of the pot. I hate when it does that. Let me stir it so it won't do that. Almost there. I could have actually just waited for that oil. And then I'm gonna need my tin tomatoes. So I have 2 tin tomatoes. I actually wish I had the big one of this, but I only have 2, the small ones. That's what I'm going to be using. So I'm letting the onions fry down a little bit, and then I'll use the tin tomatoes. I'm taking out the goat meat now. So this is the goat meat, fried, not dry fried. My children cannot eat it if it's hard, and I don't like it when it's super hard too. It has to be nice and tender. So So it's done. I could have waited for the oil to just pour, but it's okay. I'll use it. I have more cooking to do, so. So now I'm gonna go ahead and process the rest. I don't have to separate the bell pepper and the tomatoes. I can do them together. Oop, I splashed tomatoes all over the. Those tomatoes. So now I'm gonna process my onions and, oh sorry, my tomatoes and my bell pepper. So the onion is done frying now, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the tomato paste, and then I'll fry the tomato paste down until it becomes like little pebbles. And the reason that is done is to ensure that because you know tomato paste has a little bit of sourness to it. If you don't fry your tomato paste down to become like pebbles, it would make your stew taste sour. So you don't want that, okay? You fry it down. So you want to stir it. gonna add some of this oil to the mix. Anyway, so it's still frying. I'm gonna let it fry down. And then I'm gonna strain the mixed tomatoes and the bell pepper. This is a method that my mom taught me. It makes your cooking fast. It makes it go pretty fast, okay? That's the one thing I don't like about this, my food processor. Sometimes I have to fight with it. You want to make sure you stir it from time to time so your food won't burn. And this stew base that I'm making, guys, it's actually just for rice and stew, but you can literally use that base for anything. You can use it for jollof. You can just eat your rice and stew as is. It doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, this saves me time during the week. So as you can see, my tomatoes has fried down and it's starting to look like pebbles. Not the onion, the tomatoes, the red guy. And so that's what we want, okay? I can let it fry down a little more. I can let it fry down a little more before adding the rest of my ingredient, but it's okay. So at this point, my fresh tomatoes and my bell pepper has strained to a good point. It's still straining, but I'll go ahead and add that. I still have some more to do. And I'll add some more oil as needed. If you don't have access to food processor, you can just cut your tomatoes and your onions. Using the food processor makes it faster. I'm gonna let that strain a little bit, then I'll add it. Alrighty guys, so that's the majority of the cooking. I'm adding a little more oil. I'm gonna bring the camera closer when I'm almost done so you can see what it looks like. So with the juice from the tomatoes, I'm not gonna toss it away. I'm going to leave it for if I need more liquid. If I find myself needing to add more, pretty much I'm letting it cook down. I'm gonna cover it so it cooks faster. Okay? And while I'm waiting for it to cook down, I'm just gonna go ahead and clear up my sink. I still have my last jar of green juice to drink today. And this is kale, celery, lemon, and green apples. Okay, let me stir this down. Alright, so while that is cooking down, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my baby's bottle. All right. I came to stir it so it won't burn. Let me let it simmer. Let me go wash the bowls. All right. Hey, so I'm not the only night owl. Who? So I'm gonna go ahead and add some minced garlic. I'm gonna add the rest of the seasoning. My anise is finished. So I put anise. I put a new pack of anise. Put a new pack. That's what I put a new pack. Anyways. I thought I got a new pack of anise. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of my seasoning. This is chive. Chive is my favorite seasoning. Okay, it smells so delicious. It's almost like perfume slash whatever. And this is a big pot. So I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of chive. Some rosemary. About 1.5 tablespoons is good for this quantity. I'm also adding some marjoram. Marjoram, I'm adding about half tablespoon, well, 1 teaspoon, let's say that. I'll come to the pepper last. And this is thyme. About 1.5 tablespoons of thyme. And this is black pepper. About a teaspoon of black pepper. And then some curry powder, but before that, well, the curry powder is left. For this quantity, I think about a tablespoon is good. I think I put way more than a tablespoon because it's heat. Okay? And then I have some powdered pepper. About a tablespoon of powdered pepper is good for this quantity. I also have ginger powder. I don't have the I use 2 tablespoons of ginger powder. And I also do put sugar in my stew, guys. So once I'm done stirring all of this, I'll put about 1.5 tablespoons of sugar because this is a big pot of stew, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some sugar. And this is sugar, guys. That's 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. And before I put my salt, I'll go ahead and put my bouillon, the chicken and goat's meat stock that I created as my, I'll put about a tablespoon. And then once it melts, well actually I'll say about, this is about 2 tablespoons. When it melts in the food, then I'll put the salt. Because this is salty, okay? I'll say about 2 tablespoons. And the rest goes back to the freezer. Let it simmer, and then I'm gonna pull you guys up close into the pot in a bit. So now I can go ahead and put the salt. Okay, it's perfect. It needs a little bit more salt though. Because this is a huge pot of soup, okay? Or stew. Mm, this is perfect. I'm gonna I'm gonna let it simmer down for a little bit before I add the meats. But let me pull you up close so you can see what my pot looks like. Not sure if you can see it well. There's no way I can zoom in, but I don't want to put the phone super close. But this is it. Do you see it? That's what it looks like, okay? That's a big pot of stew. And this, I'm gonna have about 2 big bowls in the freezer and 1 in the fridge. And so for the week, we're gonna have stew, we have okra, and then anything in between for dinner. All right, but stew and okra is more than enough for dinner for 5 days in a week. And like I said, this is going to go in the freezer and in the fridge, and we can eat it with rice. This is also a nice base for jollof. All right, so if I wanted to cook jollof, I don't have to come and start from scratch. All I have to do is two of the round ladles to 1 cup of jollof. All right, if I wanted to cook jollof, so the work is already done for me. So during the week, if I decide that, okay, instead of rice and stew and okra soup, we want to have jollof, all I have to do is do 2 of this guy, 2 scoops of this guy. You can say 2 cups of this guy to 1 cup of rice, okay? And my jollof is good. You could also do 1 on 1. So 1 cup to 1 cup. But I usually like to put a lot of stew in my jollof. So yeah, but yeah, this is a big pot of stew, and it's going to be in the freezer and the fridge. And then I'm gonna go, when it simmers down a little more, I'll add my goat meat and my chicken to the mix, and we'll be good. All right, and so yeah, this is it. So now it's time for me to clean up. As you can see, I have a whole lot of mess. I usually do clean up. Um, I clean up while I cook. So as I'm cooking, as I'm cleaning up. As I'm cooking, I'm cleaning up. So it usually takes me a little longer compared to if I was just cooking without cleaning. All right. The bowl does have some oil underneath, so when I raise it up, it does make a mess. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and finish washing those bottles. You can serve this with some rice and then some plantains or yam or potatoes, whatever. It's up to you. All right, I have enough salt and other seasoning in here, and this tastes really, really delicious. And I don't like it being super dry. So at this point, if I feel like I don't have enough moisture, all I have to do is add the water that I strained from the tomatoes, or the juice from the tomatoes. I just add that back in. But it's not necessary because I like the consistency that it has gotten to right now. I'm stirring it this much because I don't want it to burn. Yeah, it tastes very delicious. I don't have enough pepper. My kids don't like a lot of pepper, so I try to put very little. I also have my mood with pepper. I don't eat pepper a lot on a daily basis. So my kids and my husband, well, not my kids, my second daughter. And of course, I don't know, the baby, of course, she's a baby, but my second daughter especially, she doesn't do pepper. All right, so now that it's cooked to the point where I like it, I'll go ahead and put my meats, okay? So the goat's meat, the chicken, all of my meats, pretty much. And if I wanted to do jollof with this, I would have actually taken some out for the jollof at this point. I'm contemplating not putting all of the meat. That's why I'm not just pouring it, because sometimes I tend to have too much meat in the stew. So I'm gauging it, and then based on how many. And for variety, which I very seldom would do, you could always boil eggs as part of your plating. If you wanted to plate with eggs, you could do that too. All right, let me stir it, and then I'll see if I have enough meat. If not, I'll add the rest. All right. Thai goat meat is so yummy. And chicken. The meat tastes so good. And the stew. And at this point, if you wanted to add some other veggies to garnish it to be aesthetically pleasing more than it is right now. You could do that. Things like chopped bell peppers and spring onions, pretty much anything of your choice. Uh, what is it called? Jalapeno, anything. Yummy. This is so good. Yum yum. This is delicious, okay? It was nice hanging out with you guys. Thanks for coming to meal prep with me. So like I said, this is going to be in the freezer and in the fridge. So one stashed in the fridge, 2/3 of it in the freezer. Because what happens is if you put a whole lot in the fridge, considering that there are other foods that we eat throughout the day, it will go bad. So if I put it in the freezer, this would last me for a good month or two. So I'm actually saying this quantity, this is all we're eating, it would last for a good while. But of course, this is not all we're eating. We have other things that we eat throughout the day and for dinner. So yeah. That meat tastes so good. It's tender, just like I like it. Firm, just like I like it. And my kids, my husband, they love it. This texture is the perfect texture. All right, you guys, so it has simmered down enough. The seasoning is good, the salt is good, sugar level is good. Like I said, I put only 1.5 tablespoons of sugar in this big pot of stew. I'm not sure if the video is really showing how big this pot is, but yeah, it is a big pot of stew. So it is done simmering. It doesn't need to simmer any further. I'll just go ahead and turn off the stove and then and finish cleaning up and washing the baby's bottles and then rounding up for the night. So that was it. It was lovely hanging out with you guys. So it's already late and I don't have the strength or the energy to finish up prepping whatever it is, but yeah, this big pot of stew was the main reason for the live today. So I hope you enjoyed watching it and I hope you learned something new, a new technique from my kitchen. All right, so pretty much in order to cook it fast, because as you can see that's a lot of tomatoes and bell pepper, the goal is, or the trick is, to strain the juice out of your tomatoes and your bell pepper, which I use the sieve to do, and so that makes it dry, or um, a lot more uh, less moisture filled, I guess, drier. Yeah, and so when you put it in the pot, it cooks faster. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed learning something from me. And usually when I'm cooking, I don't leave my hair like this. Usually when I'm cooking, I put a headband around my hair, but I wanted to leave my hair down to look cute. So that's the reason for this, because my hair really does bug me a whole lot when I'm cooking. I don't like it down. And I believe proper kitchen habits would be to put a cap on my hair. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up. I turned off the stove, and I did not end up using the juice from the tomatoes and the bell pepper. I didn't use it at all, so yeah, that was that. Let me go ahead and clean up the kitchen. I'll see you guys another time when I come live. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know if you want to see anything else from my kitchen aside cooking. Like I told you guys, I do a whole lot of different things on my channel. Cooking is the main thing, but I'm gifted just like everyone else on this earth. We do have multiple skills under our belts, and so as I share my life with the world, I'll bring whatever it is that I am doing at home, around, you know, the world. At home, in the kitchen, outside of home, anything it is that I'm doing, I'll put it on here, so long as I feel like it's something that I believe is worth sharing. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys. Have a blessed week. Yeah, I look forward to a really wonderful week for all of the, you know, huddles and different things that were in my way last week. I'm looking forward to. So I traded last week. Well, I've been trading since January, all of February. I've been actually very consistent, so I'm very proud of myself. And last week and the week before were losses for me, and I'm looking forward to a great comeback this week. And like I said, I'm still trying to find my bearing. It's not like I know what I'm doing in terms of like knowledge wise. I'm still just trying to find which technique works better for me. And so I'm still playing around. But yes, last week I did take some big losses. The week before, yeah, so I'm willing to lose in order to win, whatever it is. The only thing is, I always suggest take calculated risk. Don't just jump in there and say because everyone is trading, you also want to trade. I know that when I break through with trading, it's going to give me a whole lot of freedom. Not only would I be financially free, I would also be free with my time to do other things that I want to do, as opposed to being tied to a 9-to-5. There's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. I just know that you cannot build generational wealth through 9-to-5, right? And so that is my goal. My goal is to build generational wealth, to be able to have more than enough for me, for my children, to be able to leave a legacy, a lasting legacy. And that I can only do through money, right? By having more than enough money. I'm not saying that the good we do in the world around our families or for our families and friends, I'm not saying that all those things do not count towards leaving a lasting legacy. But when I'm talking about leaving a lasting legacy, I'm talking about having so much leverage, and that's something that money can buy. So that is the reason why I go live and I trade. And going live to trade is actually me pushing myself to actually stay consistent. But yeah, guys, I hope you learned a thing or two from my kitchen, cooking this big pot of stew. And I do go live on Facebook, on my Facebook page. I started going live as well on YouTube, but for some reason, I need to fix it. My screen sharing gave me some problems last week, last 2 weeks, so I've not been able to do the double live, because I used to go live on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously when I started, which I believe a month ago. But I've not been able to come live on YouTube simply because my screen sharing is not working. So if you do still want to follow my trading journey, to watch me break financial curse and become financially free, and build leverage and a lasting legacy for me and my household, and you want to do that too, definitely, if you have more knowledge than me, I'm more than willing to learn from you, so share with me. But if you have never touched trading and you want to learn how to trade and you want to chime in and watch me trade, you're more than welcome. I go live on my Facebook page, Thelma Hagen. That is my Facebook page. The girl wearing the blue shirt, that is me. That's where I go live every morning. Okay, so between the hours of 8:30 to 10, it just depends on what the market is doing. That is when I'll come live, because I do take a look at the market before I come live. If it's not making sense, I'm not coming live. All right. Oh, thank you, Rose. I appreciate you. I didn't even see that comment. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It means a lot to me. Thank you. I hope, I wish you the same as well. Coming from someone that I don't know, I'm believing that you're a very beautiful person as well, because beauty comes from within and it shows on the outside. So you are beautiful too. Thank you so much. All right. All right, you guys. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a blessed week and enjoy your nights. It's late nights. I thought I was the only night owl online doing my live, because I know people do come back to watch the lives later. So yeah, but anyways, you guys, have a wonderful time. Okay, have a great night and a wonderful week. And like I said, chime in and watch me trade if you do want to follow my trading journey and also begin to build financial freedom for you and your family as well. All right, you guys, bye bye. Good night. Bye.